Hello, I'm Bramwell Tovey. I'm the music director of the Vancouver Symphony Orchestra. I'd like to welcome you to the VSO's first ever Spring Festival. And this year it's a very special event indeed, because we have one of the world's finest young pianists here to play every single one, that's all four, of Rachmaninoff's magnificent piano concertos. And if that weren't enough, the cycle is topped off with the Rhapsody on a theme of Paganini, which contains the great 18th variation, which has been plundered for movies, advertisements, love songs, Valentine's Day, you name it. Just an extraordinary canon of work, phenomenally difficult, and requires someone with the strength of an ox. And we have a most wonderful, wonderful, sensitive artist who I first met in Quebec, I think about 7 or 8 years ago.
That's
now.
right, yes.
Yeah. And I had the great pleasure of introducing to the Los Angeles Philharmonic and the New York Philharmonic. So it's a great pleasure to welcome back to Vancouver one of our favorite guest artists, Alexander Gavrylyuk.
Thank you so much.
How's it going, all the preparation? I mean, we've heard already in rehearsal the first two concertos,
That's
but
right.
the first one's not very well known, but it's fantastic, isn't it?
It's a great piece. I find, well, it's very youthful. It was written with Greek being practiced by Zelotin in the next room, and was dedicated to Zelotin, of course.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's just a not yet burdened
Yes.
Rachmaninoff,
Yes.
which we hear in the first concerto.
That's right, it doesn't have the same despairing moments.
That's right.
But he always, when he despairs, he always brings us back to this sort of elation, this kind of incredible feeling of one triumphs over despair.
I completely agree, yes.
We're not left anywhere feeling like we are at the end of Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony and the doldrums. We're sort of taken to paradise almost.
That's right. Well, it seems that there's always a struggle, in a world struggle, in every of his large works, and there's always the dark and the light, and
Yes.
You're absolutely right to say that the joyful, the glorious, and the triumphal climaxes are always the one which is the victorious in the end. Yeah.
We've just rehearsed the second piano concerto with this extraordinary introduction, just a sequence of chords. We never hear this music ever again in the piece. Tchaikovsky, of course, in his first piano concerto also had an introduction that we never hear again in the piece. But this one, in Rachmaninoff's concerto, is very introspective, very quiet. What's your take on it?
The beginning of the second.
The second piano concerto.
I found this to be a resemblance of bells, church bells. As we know, he had 2 years of depression and perhaps a composer's block,
Yes.
which was cured, and this was the first piece he wrote. So perhaps there were many things inside that he wanted to express during those years, and finally they all sort of came.